Okay, let's get started. Here we go. We are sometime in the beginning of 2022, I think, maybe 2023. Maybe we're not quite in 2023 yet. I've lost track, but we're moving along. Here we go. Nice big circles, get the shoulders moving and go both directions because I know you can. Let's do some elbow circles. Last one. Let's roll our shoulders one at a time. Shimmy them out nice and slow, get those crackles out. And swing your arms. Everyone had a good week off. Lots of food. I did. Too much food. That's okay. Let's take our feet wide, toes turned out, knees turned out, sink down into a squat. We're going to be a little bit more dynamic. Push through your toes, reach through your hand. And let's get our bodies moving through space. And punch across. Make a nice long line between your hands and your toes. Couple more. Last set. Let's sink it down and reach it up. Sink it down, reaching up. Your shoulders are going to be nice and warm after this. And your hips too. Two more. Bring our hands on our hips. Check in with that lateral movement. Pop those hips out side to side. We're not just moving our body and keeping our hips still. Make a move. And let's turn those into hula hoops. And reverse. Nice. And figure eights. And reverse. 7 and 8. Bringing your feet back under your hips. Let's circle out the knees. Checking with your ankles and your feet. Rolling across the balls of your feet. Beginning of the workout. Hopefully everything is still attached. I need a lot of pops this morning. Let's circle out these ankles. And reverse. And switch sides. So remember a few weeks ago when we were doing our side lunges and everybody said, oh my God, I really felt it. Well, guess what? We're back to side lunges today. We're going to get our legs and our hips really nice and warm. Take your feet nice and wide. Sink down into a squat, chest up, eyes up. Let's just shift side to side. You're going to start feeling the adductors stretching, moving. Don't force anything. We're just waking everything up. And then see if you can come down a little bit lower. Find all that space in the pelvis, in that hip socket. And then just hang out here, shift your weight back, see if you can sit down just a little bit more. We're going to hold this for about 15 seconds. And it feels good to shift a little bit, shift a little bit. No need to hold a static stretch here. But I want you to see if you can sink a little deeper. The more I do these, the deeper I go. It seems ridiculous maybe sometimes, but it takes time. And over years, this is the lowest my squat has ever gotten. So let's bring our hands to the floor. Oh, lift up those hips. Hold it here for a second to stretch out your back, let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. And let's do 5 bottoms up. So down and up for 1, down and up for 2. See how much of your hand you can keep on the floor as you straighten your legs. 1 and 5. Walk your feet in while you're still in that forward fold. Hold on to your elbows. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Come back to center. Shift your elbows to your right knee. Shift to your left knee. If this makes you dizzy, don't do it. So right and left and right and left. Bring your hands onto your knees. Roll it up. Check in with your back. Let's bring our feet underneath our hips again and prance it out. Bring your heels together and let's do 8 heel lifts. In first position, squeezing your legs together. Like you're channeling your inner Mary Poppins, right? Okay. And then let's do our ankle wiggles. So legs straight out, toes pointing down, and going side to side. Very nice. And then let's turn from the hip, hacky sack, kick up. Bring that inner ankle up to the ceiling. If you put your hand on your legs, you can feel every muscle that's working, trying to make this lift happen. And well, it's interesting to me, may or may not be interesting to you. And let's switch sides. So find your balance on side 2. Other leg comes out, point a toe down and take it side to side. You can keep that movement out of your upper leg. Just the lower leg muscles, we want to keep nice and strong. And then we're going to rotate and lift. And shake it out. Okay, so for our first set of exercises, we have our side lunges with a weight. So we're going to reach and do our John Travolta, come into an overhead reach. And then we're going to come down on the floor for the last 2 exercises in this set. One is a chest press to a fly to an overhead pull. So if you are lifting heavy, I would suggest using half of what you would do for a chest press, maybe a little bit less. If you're going lighter, maybe you'll do some more reps and we can split things up that way. The limiting factor is going to be the fly because your arm is vulnerable when your arm goes up, or your shoulder is vulnerable when your arm goes out at that angle. So let's find the weight that you want to start for our side lunges. And we're going to go for 8 on each side. So I'm actually going to start non-dominant side. You want to keep the outside of that foot that's not moving. You want to keep the outside of your foot on the floor instead of letting it turn up. So if you need something to think about, that could be it. Let's sink it down and come up. Remember, chest stays up, eyes stay up. 2, 3, 7, and 8. Beautiful. You guys are looking good. Let's switch sides. Step it out. And bring it up. Outside of your foot stays down. And 8. So we'll come down on the floor. have a weight in each hand. We're gonna go, if you're going light, go for maybe 10 reps in each position. We'll go through it 10 times. If you're using heavier weights and you can't get to 10, honor your body and don't force anything. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. It takes a long time to do 3 moves, so be patient. Settle your back into the floor. Chest press up. Come out for a fly. Keeping your back glued to the floor. We're going to reach back overhead. You do not need to touch the floor. Get used to the movement. This is press for 2. And a fly. And an overhead reach. It's for 3. Out for a fly. Most important is your back is staying stable, right? Your core has to hold you while your arms are doing all these crazy things. This is 5. 6. 7. 8. I'd say if by now you're not feeling a little something, something, you should be going a little heavier. This is 9. And if you're feeling like you're dying, you can stop. And this is 10. Up and out and overhead. Bring the weights down safely. Roll ourselves up to sitting. Stick your feet straight out. And it's time to cramp those quads. So we're going to sit with our feet a little bit wider than our shoulders. And press our knees down into the floor, toes, your ankles are flexed, so your toes are up to the ceiling. And we're going to lift. Try to stay up as tall as you can. 7, if it cramps, take a little break. The more you do these, the less you cramp. And then switch sides. You can hold your arms out, hold your posture nice and tall. And cramp, that's 10, we're done. Woo. Give your legs a little massage. Maybe let's reach forward and stretch out our back that was being pressed into the floor and our shoulders. We'll take about another minute and then we'll go through this again, starting with the side lunges. Sometimes after I do those leg lifts, I come up and get a nice stretch just by leaning back. Let those muscles release. They're working because they're holding you, but they're also in a lengthened position instead of a very concentric, contracted position. We can do back kicks. Keep it dynamic. We're going to go in about 30 seconds. Going just a wee bit heavier on the side lunge. We'll switch back to dumbbells for the rest. Alrighty, let's get going. Side lunge to a press. Going heavier also slows me down a little bit. 3. Not a bad thing. 4. Nice, you guys look good. 8. Switch hands. And we'll cue up for side 2. And let's hit it. Down, up, 2. One more, I don't know if you can hear that. He is popping like crazy. No pain, just noise. Let's shake your arms out. Lift your camera back down to the floor. Circle out your wrists. And we're going to aim for 10 again. So settle in. Check in with your pelvis so it's down. So you can feel your spine against the floor. Maybe pull your ribs down. Connect your ribs with your hips. And let's go. Press for 1. Do a fly. To a pull. 2. Out for a fly. Whoops. Overhead for a pull. 3. Fly. You don't have to touch the floor. 4. Out. Up. And overhead. 5. 7. Almost there. If you're tired, if you're done, you're done. 8. If you can't keep your back on the floor, you're done. If you're feeling a strain, you're done. This is 9. And 10. And bring the weights down safely. And we'll come up to sitting. I'm going to use my kettlebell. You can use your dumbbell for this next round of leg lifts. So you could keep your dumbbell down flat and give yourself something visual to lift up and over. You could put it on end. It's not too different side, but kettlebell's a little sturdier. It's not going to flop over on me. We're going to lift up and over. So I'll keep them both there. So I want you to scooch forward. So you're sitting up tall on your sit bones. Nice tall posture. Ribs over your hips. Your pelvis is loaded. That's why it's so hard. And we're going to reach forward. When you press forward, you're engaging your abs. And we're going to flex those ankles, push the knees straight, up and over for 1, 2, 3, ouch. 4, shake your leg out if you need to, whenever you need to, like that. 5, 6, 7, and 1 more. Woo! Good job. It's a little more intense than what we did the first round. And let's go. Side 2. Up and over. 2, 3, 4. It doesn't feel better. Put your hands behind you for this. But you might need to shake it out a little bit. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. weights away. Stretch it forward. Go into an up dog. Perhaps get a little break. Maybe make some hip circles. We're going to take about 30 more seconds before we load those legs again with our last round of side lunges. So move your weights out of the way, grab a drink if you need it. Take off a layer if you need to. It's finally warm. Warm enough to do that here. So how quickly we forget. I don't remember if I ever complained about it being too hot here this summer. I'm not complaining, but this morning it was 12 degrees. Maybe let's just do some butt kicks, loosen up those quads. And let's start non-dominant again. So you're going out to your non-dominant leg. 8 on each side, please. Here we go. 1. Woo. Nice. 2. Remember, chest stays up. That's 8. Good. Let's bring it over to side 2. 2. Nice. Nice and tall and straight. 8. Woo. Big weight down. Grab our dumbbells and we'll come down to the floor. Last time through. Give your legs a little break. Are you ready? Let's go up. While you're up here, settle your back into the floor. Engage your core. Reach out to the side. Bring the weights together. Reach overhead. Take your time with these. There's no rush. You can rush through this if your weights aren't heavy enough. 3, 4, 'Like getting a combo. 6 gets your back, your chest, and your shoulders all in one. 7, third time through, you might be feeling it. Listen to your body. If it's saying no more, listen to it. We'll be with you in just a minute. 8. Out. And overhead. Don't let your ribs pop up. Don't let your spine pop up. This is 9. We're almost there. If you're still with me. Yeah, everybody dropped off the camera. There we go. This is 10. Out. Up. And overhead. Beautiful. Bring the weights down. Hug your knees in. Let your back relax for just a sec. For 2 or 3. And let's roll it up. Last round of leg lifts. So you can keep it low, you can keep it high, you could do no weights, you can use a taller weight. We're gonna try for 8. If you don't get to 8 before your legs cramp, that's okay. Last round, give it your best shot. Find your position, knees are pressed into the floor, toes curled up to the ceiling, up and over. And then the other side. 2. The temptation is to lean back, and that might feel a little bit better than even propping yourself up on your hands. 8. And then the bonus finale. I don't know if I can do this, so we'll see. Can we lift up both feet at one time and bring them in? Both feet at the other time. I can't do it without rocking backwards. There we go. And one more. And we're done with this set. Good work. Let's give our quads a nice stretch. The work doesn't end. The work doesn't end at all. So quad stretch, let me fix my camera. We have single leg squats coming at us in the next set. So if you need an excuse to sit down for the rest of the day, this workout is your excuse. We have coming at you, we're going to take another full minute or so. We have single leg squats. We have alternating arm Arnold presses. So a little bit more bicep and shoulder. And then we're going to grab bands. So if you have a heavy band, grab it, because we'll be using that for doing pull downs with alternating arms. It's a very unilateral kind of day. Let's do some butt kicks. Figure out which seat you're going to use, what elevation you're going to use for lowering your butt. Whether or not you want to use weight. I sit down here. So I'm not going to add much weight, but I am going to add weight. And if you're using weight, we're going to have it up on our shoulders. So find your seat so you know where it is. Stand up with both legs. Push back with your hips and come right back down to it. So you know that when you sit down, that's where the bench is. Take one leg out and let's go for 6 on each side. 1. Don't get too comfortable when you sit down. 2. And you can get comfortable, but we're going to switch sides. Very nice. So let's go on to leg 2. If you have it in you, look down at your knee and your toes and make sure they're going in the same direction. Bring the weights down. We're doing alternating Arnold presses. I'm just going to do them. I can do them on my knees because I can. You can do them standing. You can do them from your knees. If you do them from your knees, I keep my knees apart and press my toes together. And there's something about that triangulation that helps you squeeze your glutes and hold yourself steady. Because as our upper body is moving, we want the lower body to be still. Well, if we do it half kneeling, it gets a little more awkward. So let's do it like this. Squeeze your toes together and let's go. Rotate forward and back down. 2, 3, nice. 4, 5. Hope this is feeling good on everybody's elbows. 8, 9, 10. We're halfway through. 11, 12. Almost there. 2 more each side. 17. Brace those abs. Squeeze those glutes. Don't let the weight pull you. Last set. Up and over. And up and up. Let's put those weights down. I'm actually going to come up to standing for the band work. The band, it can be any kind of band you have. We're going to be in a split stance. I have my left foot in front this first set. I might need to change my band. I'm going to change my band. That's too hard. The split stance, you're kind of leaning forward, pull the ribs down so your spine is in a good alignment. We're not flared out at all. But from here, we're going to pull down to one side, down to the other. Think about pulling with your back muscles. Feel those big muscles on the side, wrap around your back to the front. Adjust your tension accordingly. And 20. Hopefully you had enough resistance with whatever band you chose. You can always hold your hands closer together and give yourself more resistance. If that's too much, take your bands a little farther apart. Easy peasy. Those are our 3 exercises. Stretch out your back, your sides, your shoulders. Suddenly that movement from the warm-up feels really good. And the backstroke arms. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to go into round 2 with our single leg squats. So if you're using weights, awesome. If you're not using weights, also awesome. We keep the weights up here. And let's go anywhere from 6 to 8 on each side. Make sure you're coming all the way up to standing. I just caught myself stopping with a bent knee. And by that, I mean, when you come up, don't stop here and go back down. Come all the way up. This looks good. Hold on. And put the weights down. Way. Grab your weights for your shoulders. Split stance, and I have my right foot in front this time. You want to lean a little bit forward and pull your ribs down so your spine is in alignment. Ribs are over your hips, and that's going to support you as you move the weight overhead. Right, we never want to reach overhead and have our back arched. At least it's good practice if you're going to lift something heavy overhead. You want your spine to be stacked. Let your skeleton support you. The muscles support you. Not have things out of alignment. That looks good. We're going to breathe. Have 2 more on each side. Up, rotate. The rotations are important. When you're not in the military, you don't have to do strict military presses, strict military push-ups. You can add some rotation. You can be a little bit easier on your joints. Maybe the military has progressed. Who knows? But there's more than one way to do a movement. And I choose the way that's kinder on joints. Okay. 3. We have our band pull downs. We're going to change this up just a little bit. Just a wee bit. We're going to start the same. We're going to start with the band up above our head. But instead of pulling out to the side like we were before, engaging our lats, we're going to hold the band a little bit more forward and pull down to your side. So we're pulling front to back, front to back. So the armlets up is a post. It's on a little bit of an angle. It feels better to hold it straight up. Go for it. I want you to pull that arm back towards your hip. And I've lost count. Let's do 6 more. 2, 3. Nice. 4, 5. Make sure your shoulders aren't creeping up to your ears. And we're done. Nice work. Shake it out. We're going to have 1 more speed set. And then we'll have a shorter round for C's. We won't do 3 sets of our C's. But we'll get in 3 sets of everything else. That way, if we need to sit down for the rest of the day, your legs aren't going to want to do anything else. There's reading. I'll take up this minute by talking. Very interesting study about why people who exercise more and try to eat less end up not losing weight. And it turns out, it used to be, you can't outrun a bad diet, that people thought it was all diet. And it turns out it's not diet. It's kind of the painful elaboration of the obvious that people who exercise hard don't overindulge as a general rule. They tend to be so tired that they move less during the rest of the day. And most of our energy expenditure comes from how much we move during the day. And so if you are moving less, you're burning fewer calories. Regardless if you eat the exact same amount, your weight's not going to budge. So notice how you feel after the workouts. If you're pushing yourself hard enough that you feel like just, I'm joking about sitting for the rest of the day because I know a few of you have desk jobs, but just notice if you feel like you're sitting down more on Tuesdays and Thursdays than you are on other days, where you just feel like you need a nap, you need a rest, you need to do less. And we'll figure out how to recover better. Okay, single leg squats, last round. I'm gonna do them way back here so I don't have to keep changing my camera. Now I'm gonna try, actually I'm gonna try doing them without weights and with my hands up here to hold me up and keeping my foot up. So we'll see how it goes. Let's go for 6 on each side. Whoop. And you can laugh at me, you can laugh at yourself. Oh, as long as you're not being hard on yourself. 4, 5. Walk. And when you're ready, let's go to side 2. A lot harder to keep that other foot off the floor on the non-dominant side. And it's a little bit harder not to plop down onto the seat at the end of the workout. So give your leg a pat of thanks. Let's line up our spines. Pull the ribs down, maybe lean a little bit forward. Push into that front leg. And let's go. Last 20. Good, stay strong. No. You're staying with me. We have 2 left on each side. Last one. Shake your arms out. Do standing cat-cow or 2. And we'll grab our bands. Let's pull out straight to the side. Give yourself enough tension that you feel it. Your elbow squeezes in. Feel your back muscles working to bring them in. Here you go. And let's come back up to the top. Narrow your grip. And we're going to bend both elbows and squeeze them in to the front and to the back. That's 1. I'm doing 5 of these. 2, 3. Good. 4. And 5. And rest. Nice work. Shoulders should be feeling it. Grab a drink. We have a couple more things to do. And I think I'm gonna change the order so our shoulders get a little bit more rest and we can keep moving. So we have 3 essentially core exercises down on the floor. We're not going to leave the floor. We will just stay there. So we're going to start seated. So you're right up on your tailbone. We're going to rock back onto your sacrum. You're going to feel your abs engage. And we're going to bring our feet up. And we're going to bring knee to knee, toe to toe, heel to heel. So we're going toe to toe, internal rotation, heel to heel, hips are going to external rotation. If you need to prop yourself a little bit, do that, but try to do it in this position where you can still feel your abs engaged. Okay, so 20, toe to toe, heel to heel, knee to knee. 5, 6, 7, toes and heels. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Whew. We're giving our shoulders a break, but not our hips. Then we're going to come onto our elbow and do oblique V-ups. So angle your feet forward. If you're not on the mat, imagine you are. So instead of being in a straight line, take your feet forward. We're going to stretch nice and long, and then one leg or two leg up. 2, we're working those side muscles. You can even put your hands here, just lifting your legs, you're going to feel it. 10 on each side. 10. Pivot around. Again, straight legs, angle them forward. Go for a nice big stretch to begin with, and then up and down. Good. Rolling over, we're going to come into a plank on our elbows. So you want your palms down, not clasped. Palms down in front of you, and your shoulders right over your elbows. We'll come into a plank. Important to do it from your toes here, so that we can pike up into dolphin and come back to our plank. 2, we're going to do 6 of these. 3, see if you can release through your back. It's a little bit more intense than doing it from your hands into a down dog. And when you're all done, come back into child's pose. We're going to do those one more time, because we have time and because we can. Let's come into a butterfly set just for a minute. Those leg lifts that we did, I can feel them in everything that we're doing. Give them a little shake, a little massage, a little love. Let's rock back into our boat pose, shoulders back, chest up, hands down if you need them, but your knees are going to come up. You feel your abs engaging, heel to heel, toe and knee, toe and knee. There we go. Toes and knees touch, heels touch. Mm-hmm. 18, 2 more. Woo. And done. Come down on our sides. Focus on those obliques. So it's okay, get a nice big stretch. You can do one leg, or you can do 2 legs. See what your body feels like. We're last 10 on the side. 6, 7, 8. Nice. And 10. Give yourself a nice big side bend. Pivot around, come to side 2. Stretch it out, and let's hit it. Last 10. 2. 9, 10. And rolling over. Maybe give yourself an up dog to start. So let's come onto our elbows and let's do our last 6. Plank to dolphins, hands palm down on the floor. And pike it up and forward. When you're all done, come down on your belly. And we're going to do a scorpion stretch. We'll bring our hands by your shoulders or your chest, wherever it's comfortable. You're going to press into the floor and reach up and over. Hold, 2, 3, and bring it down. Press up into the floor or down into the floor and lift up and over. 2, 3. Let's do that one more time. Really stretch and reach, let your abs release. 1, 2, 3. Nice. And last one. Come on to our backs. Oh. Let's actually start with our legs crossed, knee over knee. So I have left over right. Let's hug both legs in. Your hip flexors are going to be tired. And I know because mine are tired. We did a lot of lifting with the quads and with the hip flexor muscles. So give them a chance to relax in this position. The more you hug in, the more you're stretching the outside of your left hip. But think about what it feels like where your hips flex and see if you can get those to relax as well. And if you want to, you can twist over to the right just a little bit. Make sure you're feeling that left hip. Giving it a stretch, and we're going to stay here for about 20 more seconds. Ten more seconds. And then bring your right foot down. Don't change your knees. Twist over to the left. And let the IT band on the front of your right hip have a little bit of a stretch. In about 10 seconds, we will start working over back to the left hip. Let's bring that right knee up. Slide your ankle onto your knee. And let's butterfly your left leg. And holding that knee away, twist down to the right. See how much openness you can find in that hip joint. Loosen everything up, and we're going to hang out here for 30 more seconds. Keep pushing that knee forward. Don't let it collapse into your body. If you find your knee wanting to go to the floor, push it away. There you go. Hang out here, do that stretch. In 3, 2, 1, let's lift it up and switch sides. So right knee over left, hug both legs in. See if your hip flexors relax a little bit quicker this time because they've had some stretch. I hope so. Now you're feeling better. I'm going to tip just a little bit to your left. So your right hip, those deeper muscles that do all that rotation that we did, get a nice stretch. And we're going to hang out here for another 15 seconds. Breathe. Be patient. Your day will happen, whether we stay here for 15 seconds or not. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Let's do a quick stretch, knee over knee, twisting to the right. Checking in with your left hip. We won't stay here very long because we just stretched that side. So let's come up and butterfly that right knee. So ankle over knee, But energetically, use your muscles. Push that knee away from your body and towards your body. And then let's twist down to the left and let that right hip open up. You feel it in that notch in the below the ASIS, where the IT band comes through. The TFL muscle attaches to the IT band. And then let's come up and work your way up to sitting. We're going to come into a Z sit. Dog fur all over me. So we're going to make a post with your arm, Z sit. We're going to reach across, up and over. Up. Good. And let's switch sides. You can twist, get that nice stretch. And then let's come to a cross-legged position and stretch forward. See if you can bring your elbows down to the floor, hands to the floor. Somebody out there must be able to bring their forehead to the floor in this position. That's not me. Go for a good stretch in the back. Walk your hands over to the left. And as you breathe, imagine your back is expanding to all the sides of the room. Over to the right. Oh. And we're done. Nice work, team.